have to answer to the feds as well. An official complaint was filed this morning with the U.S. Department of Labor on behalf of DOC employees. Chris Barnett reports.
Guam Federation of Teachers Field Representative Robert Koss this morning filed a complaint with OSHA about the unsafe working conditions at the Department of Corrections, specifically non-functioning fire alarms and sprinkler systems. Severe understaffing of one officer per 70 inmates jeopardizes employee and inmate safety, frequent 24-hour shifts, no backup or support team in place for officers in the event of emergency, officers assigned inside the facility fearful for their lives at work, excessive hours and failure to pay overtime in a timely manner. Management threatens employees that complain about workplace safety, and the list goes on. Koss saying these unsafe working conditions led him to file the complaint on behalf of DOC officers who this year became members of the GFT, the island's largest union representing Guam employees. Koss tells KUAM this course of action was determined to be necessary after the administration and legislature heard their cries for help but responded with disregard because DOC's concerns were brought forward in an anonymous fashion. Employees were threatened with an investigation to find out who's complaining, and after meeting with the governor, it's clear no relief will be provided for months at best, according to Koss. He adds presently DOC daily operations are predicated on placing the lives of employees and inmates at risk, and they violate numerous labor laws and other policies governing prison operations. Meanwhile, KUAM News confirms that yesterday Governor Lou Leon Guerrero met with DOC command staff. Sources tell us senior prison leadership were called to a meeting and that the governor then showed up. Several recordings of her Tuesday DOC meeting were leaked to island media, and before the command staff meeting began yesterday, officers were told to put their phones on a table away from the meeting, according to sources that were present. Discussed in the sit-down the shortage of officers, promotions, inmate overcrowding, and other issues. Director Samantha Brennan was not present at that meeting. Prison command staff tell us they suggested the deployment of National Guard soldiers to assist with perimeter security and the hiring of security guards to patrol the prison's exterior. Command staff also suggested the hiring of civilians to maintain plumbing, electrical, and aircon at the prison. When we asked our sources if they thought the meetings held at the prison were a sincere effort by the administration to correct what's wrong at DOC, the reply was, "We will see." DOC Director Samantha Brennan has repeatedly not responded to KUAM's request for comments, including one sent this morning on the situation at the prison. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Koss this afternoon also filed an official complaint with the local Department of Labor against DOC Director Samantha Brennan for, quote, recklessly endangering the lives of employees under her care. New information revealed about what's been happening in Saipan and a federal investigation that could potentially connect CNMI Governor Ralph Torres with a controversial casino owned by Imperial Pacific International.
The CNMI governor's office has kept a tight lid on why the FBI executed multiple search warrants at the office of CNMI Governor Ralph Torres, his home, his car, and his brother's law firm. Not only were they raided, but the offices of Imperial Pacific International CNMI, the owners of the casino in Saipan. However, a motion to stay in a separate lawsuit involving the casino sheds light on what exactly the FBI was searching for. It was in December of 2018. 7 men from China filed a complaint in the NMI District Court, alleging they were lured to Saipan by recruiting firms hired by IPI to construct the Imperial Pacific Casino. Not only do they allege that they were duped into thinking they were brought to work in Saipan legally, but that when they go there, they were forced to work long hours for below minimum wage under extremely dangerous and inhumane conditions at the casino construction site. The motion to stay this case is scheduled for January, but according to documents filed by IPI's attorney Phil Tydenko, the reason he wants to stay this case is because federal law mandates one during the pendency of any criminal action arising out of the same occurrence, and in this instance he refers to the recent actions taken by the feds when they executed multiple search warrants last week. Tydenko indicated that the investigation arises out of the casino project, quote, which is the same occurrence upon which this civil action is based, end quote. He added that, quote, the authorization to seize and the actual seizure of IPI's financial records, invoices, accounts receivables, and other documents obviously included financial records, invoices, accounts receivables, and other documents concerning and relating to the casino project, end quote. Search warrants, however, weren't only issued, so was a grand jury subpoena, which seeks all communications between IPI and the office of the governor. Tidinko asserts that the current case involving the Chinese workers and the, quote, swirling investigation involving IPI each arise out of and relate to the casino project. Furthermore, a stay is appropriate as IPI should not have to choose between presenting a vigorous defense in this case and not waiving any rights associated with a potential government prosecution, end quote. Meanwhile, CNMI House Representative Tina Sablan today posted sealed court documents related to Tidinko's motion on Facebook. Those sealed documents include the search and seizure warrant for IPI, the grand jury subpoena, and the receipt of property. Sablan says she posted them on social media because they are matters of significant public interest and concern.
Now we know, because of these records that IPI has now made public, that they are specifically looking at the governor and members of his family and associates of the casino, looking at allegations that have to do with money laundering, illegal campaign contributions by foreign nationals, wire fraud. Those are the types of, the search warrants explicitly say that those are the types of evidence that they're looking for, or that they were looking for when they executed the search warrant on IPI. And that's just one of multiple search warrants that we know they carried out last.
According to Sablan, the CNMI legislature does not have to wait for any legal or criminal action to be taken before launching their own formal inquiry.
We have more than enough cause to begin our own inquiry, which would be separate, right, from the criminal process. This would be more of a political inquiry. I think the people of the Commonwealth need to see that the rule of law does apply here, and that there are checks and balances in this government, and nobody is above the law.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
In Guam Superior Court, murder defendant Harvey Kansu has motioned for dismissal of his case, arguing double jeopardy. Again, KUAM's Adriana Cotero reports.
We weren't acting in bad faith. We made a mistake here. That's how Assistant Attorney General Sean Brown finished his argument in murder defendant Harvey Kansu's case this afternoon. In the courtroom of Superior Judge Arthur Barcinas, the defense's motion for dismissal on a basis of double jeopardy was heard. Kansu and co-defendant J.K. Sukian are charged for the death of Saunter Sokin. According to KUAM archives, the incident occurred in June outside the Siam restaurant. Kansu was arrested at the scene, and 2 days later, the victim passed away at Naval Hospital from his injuries. During his arraignment, Kansu pleaded no contest to the lesser charge of assault as a misdemeanor. However, this was the government's mistake, as stated in court today. Kansu's attorney, Randy Cunliffe, argues that if they wanted to charge his client with murder, then the government should have motioned to dismiss the misdemeanor charge at the arraignment. Attorney Brown responded, quote, "The defense and defendant knew it was a felony. They are playing a game," end quote.
I'm allowed to do it. How's that a trick? You know, I mean, it might have been smart. I might have been smarter than they were. You know, seeing the opportunity for my client, and you know, they bear the burden of the problem of not having dismissed the case sooner, or not having spoken up and said, "Don't allow him to plead no contest," but they didn't.
Judge Barcinas asked Attorney Brown why they didn't dismiss this charge if they knew the indictment with the felony charge was going to be called on the same day in court. There was no explanation other than everyone knew the victim passed away when the guilty plea was entered. The government told the court they fear if this case is dismissed, then other defendants may use this as a strategic opportunity. Attorney Cunliffe's response?
All they have to do is object, and the judge won't allow the court the plea to be entered. You know, they say, "We object, Your Honor," and the judge is going to say, "I'm going to enter a not guilty plea." It's just a scare tactic. You know, it's just, you know, crying wolf.
The motion is under advisement by the court, and depending on that decision, the government indicated it would take the case to the Supreme Court for appeal. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
The two men charged for separate roles in the murder of Keith Castro were back in court today. Joshua Palacios, who was charged with murder, is still waiting on an evaluation report, and his attorney asked for continuance to discuss if his client wants to negotiate a plea deal or go to trial. Meanwhile, co-defendant Thomas Taitano, who was charged with aggravated assault, asked to be released to third-party custodians Leonila Vasquez and Troy Torres, but the AG's office argues they are not appropriate because Vasquez and Torres are potential witnesses. Court documents state Vasquez was at the scene of the homicide and her vehicle was searched pursuant to a search warrant. The government also argues that Torres was in contact with Taitano when police were searching for him. Taitano eventually surrendered to the authorities. The AG also opposed his release because he was on parole during the incident. Palacios and Taitano are scheduled to be back in court on December 12. The family of a pregnant woman who was shot in the face Wednesday morning tells KUAM the incident was a random drive-by shooting. Chris Barnett has more.
27-year-old Rena Pito still hospitalized and recovering from a gunshot wound to her face, and that's according to her family living here in this Pocket house. The family, who has gotten a recounting of events from Pito today, gives us more information on what happened early Wednesday morning on Back Road. Pito's nephew, Bryant Rooney, his mother, and Pito, her sisters, tells KUAM his auntie was about to make a right turn into the street leading to the family home around 2 in the morning Wednesday when another car driving in the opposite direction apparently opened fire, leading his auntie to think she had blown a tire.
They were going down this road and they see if they heard the gunshot, as she thought it was from the car. So she stopped in the middle of the road, and the car that passed by stopped and reversed, went back to them and started shooting them. Backed up and started shooting them.
From there, Rooney says his auntie was able to pull into the family's driveway. She was shot in the left cheek, and Rooney says a specialist is needed to remove the bullet.
She's okay. That's the only thing they need to fix. The wound on her face.
So she was shot just once on the cheek.
Yeah.
We asked Rooney if Pocket was usually this dangerous.
Pocket is Pocket. This place is crazy. Everybody knows that. Maybe cops should come off more often to check on this place.
Meanwhile, the Guam Police Department has asked for the public's assistance with any information about the shooting. Police spokesman Paul Tapao couldn't confirm the shooting was indeed a drive-by. He said he's waiting on more information from GPD detectives. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
And we're going to take a short break and be back with more news right after this.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
we are in it for the long run. So you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
Matson is in this community. We've been in this community for decades. We're going to be in this community for decades to come. Things will get busy, things will get quiet, but we're going to be here. We're your hometown carrier. And that matters to us.
Reliability is the core of our business. We take pride in ensuring that we arrive in Guam on time as scheduled.
It's our local employees who understand the market, who understand the business, and provide that hard work for you each and every day.
When we hold ourselves to high standards, our customers also hold us to high standards. We establish good business relationships that turn into friendships. That's why it's so important to be here and be trusted by your customers. We want you to trust Matson like your friend, like your family.
At the mall, as you enjoy your shopping, dining, or entertainment, you could also win 3 great cars from Atkins Kroll and thousands of prizes in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game. Present your mall receipts and have a chance to win the renowned performance Chevrolet Camaro, the unapologetic rugged Toyota 4Runner, or the head-turning Lexus ES350 Luxury. Getaways to Manila, courtesy of Philippine Airlines, plus prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. The more you shop, the more chance to win in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game.
Now there's a technology that's lighting the way to a new mortgage for people all across Guam. Introducing Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii, Hawaii's leading lender. Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii lets you apply for a home loan anytime from any device, making the mortgage and refi process faster and easier. Or work hand in hand with one of our residential loan experts. So put the power of choice and control in your hands. Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii. Welcome to tomorrow.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. Public hearings got underway today in the House impeachment inquiry with testimony from two career diplomats who have served presidents in both political parties. Lawmakers heard perhaps the clearest link yet between President Trump and an order to investigate the Bidens. Nicole Killian has more from Capitol Hill.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony...
Bill Taylor, the top American diplomat in Ukraine, testified publicly Wednesday. A member of his staff overheard a phone call between President Trump and Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland. Taylor told lawmakers the president asked the ambassador about the investigations.
Following the call with President Trump, the member of my staff asked Ambassador Sondland what President Trump thought about Ukraine. Ambassador Sondland responded that President Trump cares more about the investigations of Biden.
House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff pushed further.
I take it the import of that is he cares more about that than he does about Ukraine.
Yes, sir.
Republican Jim Jordan tried to dismiss Taylor's testimony as hearsay.
You didn't listen on President Trump's call and President Zelensky's call?
I did not.
You've never talked with Chief of Staff Mulvaney?
I never did.
You never met the president?
That's correct.
This is what I can't believe, and you're their star witness.
I know nothing about that.
President Trump said he couldn't recall his conversation with Sondland. He also told reporters he didn't watch any of the testimony, despite tweeting about it all day.
It's all third-hand information, nothing direct at all. It can't be direct because I never said it.
Both Bill Taylor and fellow witness George Kent called the freezing of aid to Ukraine a threat to U.S. national security. Kent also singled out the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani.
In mid-August, it became clear to me that Giuliani's efforts to gin up politically motivated investigations were now infecting U.S. engagement with Ukraine.
Kent and Taylor were both asked if they were never Trumpers. Both replied no.
The embassy staffer who overheard the president's phone call is set to testify behind closed doors later this week. More public hearings are set for then as well. Heated testimony during a public hearing on a bill that would ban fishing with scuba tanks. While the measure has twice failed in previous legislatures, most of the testimony was in favor of the bill. Chris Barnett has more.
Guam's fish are few and far between. That was the gist of testimony on a bill that would ban scuba fishing. Free diver, spear fisherman Vince LaGuardia testified in support of the scuba ban, and he gave what he said would be the benefits of it.
Allowing reef populations to increase and to return to shallower depths, aligning Guam regulations with the rest of the Pacific that have banned scuba fishing, and lastly, promoting sustainable fishing methods so that generations can enjoy the same fishing experiences.
Robert Koss also spoke before senators, and while his testimony was just a couple sentences long, it characterized what many who testified thought about the state of Guam's fish stocks.
If we leave here today and no act towards conservation for the future happens, then all of us in this room lose.
Similar measures introduced in previous legislatures have failed, primarily due to the lobbying efforts of the Fishermen's Co-op president, Manny Duenas. Now that's according to public auditor and former speaker B.J. Cruz, who introduced scuba fishing ban bills in the 30th and 31st legislatures. Duenas was on hand yesterday, and he spoke about what he called a scuba stereotype.
Now I get a portrayal of the fishermen being greedy guys because they're using scuba tanks. I'm going to look at you in this room, all of you. The next person that drowns from freediving, you go to their funeral. Because none of these guys have ever died from scuba diving.
Duenas called the bill going to the extreme and said some testimony was propaganda.
All you did was create friction.
Duenas was called out by veteran fisherman Ron LaGuardia. LaGuardia saying, in essence, Duenas' testimony should be taken with a grain of salt water because Duenas doesn't see what fishermen do.
Where have you been fishing? Manny, I haven't seen you throughout my 40 years of fishing career, Manny.
Mr. LaGuardia,
that's
please,
the bottom line, let me tell you.
Thank you. I understand,
this is the truth.
Just for
I'm
decorum
in the water
purpose.
almost every week.
Understood, Mr. LaGuardia.
Brother, Listen, I got my
Ladies
time.
and gentlemen, please let's keep decorum here.
All right,
no more,
but let
no
me
more talking
clarify.
amongst each other. Address your comments
I've been fishing.
to the table. Thank you.
Manny has not been out in the water to sea. The west side is wiped out. The east side is near wiped out.
Meanwhile, freediving spear fisherman Todd Generos said change is always met with resistance, and it's clear Guam's fishing laws need to be changed.
No one ever wants new regulations and new laws, and everyone's always going to push back. But without them, we're not going to have fiestas with fish on the table.
Testimony was also given about rampant commercial overfishing of reef fish and its effect on fish populations. Genero also spoke about a lack of enforcement on regulations that do exist.
It's the wild, wild west out here. People come from the other places. Hey, what kind of permit do I need, or what can I not shoot? And it's like, you can't spear lobster. That's all you tell them. That's about the only rule that we enforce here.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
The airport held a formal signing ceremony today for about $40 million in refunded bonds. GIAA will save about $18.4 million in debt service as a result of the refinancing. But the real benefit, says Executive Manager Tom Atta, is the millions in FAA grants they can access by leveraging the money from the savings.
So the leveraging potential gives us the local matching that is necessary to go out and compete for. There's approximately $100 million of FAA airport improvement grants that are available to compete for. But to compete for that, you got to have the 10% matching, which is about $10 million.
Atta says they plan to use the money to pay for some long-deferred projects that were placed on the back burner when they had to refocus on building a new international arrivals corridor to address TSA's security concerns. Some of those projects include, for example, improvements to our air conditioning system for the airport. Of course, we need to update our master plan. Our master plan was last approved back in 2012. Other capital improvements include runway rehabilitation, aircraft parking areas, and a cargo apron to complement warehouse facilities on Tizan. The bond was oversubscribed by nearly 7 times. Interest cost savings was 2.48%. David Delgado is next with sports. Please keep it here.
Agent Alpha. What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately? I'm on it. Agent Alpha.
In the event of an accident, theft, or breakdown, each of our Alpha Insure agents are trained to go above and beyond.
This is my stop. There she is. Target acquired. Agent Alpha.
Yes!
Okay, so what are we thinking today?
Oh, I just need a trim.
Okay, well, luckily you are in great hands.
Perfect. The $1 stylist deal.
Is that it?
That's it.
Or we could get a real deal. McDonald's buy one, get one for $1 deal is here. Buy one of your faves and choose another for just an extra $1. Choose from the Big Mac, filet of fish, quarter pounder with cheese, and 10-piece chicken McNuggets, but only for a limited time.
With smart business solutions tailored to your specific needs, you can achieve your goals. You can stay connected to your customers and your teams with Docomo Pacific's best-in-class network coverage. You can be confident knowing that you have a dedicated team to provide premium support for all your needs. With us by your side, you can do it all. Find out more at DocomoPacific.com/business. Docomo Pacific Business, delivering your future today.
Why would anyone run a race? Is it about finishing a 5K in under 20 minutes? Beating your personal best? Or running over 26 miles for a marathon? It's more than a race of time, speed, or distance. It's about being in a destination unlike any other. It's about pushing yourself and being yourself in a community of over 4,000 runners with people to cheer you on. It's because it starts here and ends here. Run in paradise.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I'll get to some soccer results from the Budweiser Soccer Premier League in just a bit. But first off, some fitness news on bikini champion Geraldine Mesa. Check it out. Local bikini champion Geraldine Mesa left island this morning to compete at the 2019 Olympia Amateur Japan. Mesa will be stepping onto the stage in the bikini Class A group for a shot at her pro card.
Once I found out about it, I really was considering it just because I felt like it was a really good opportunity, especially it being a pro card qualifier. And that's something I've really been wanting. So I really decided a couple of days after the Guam show, considering, do I have the time of school and with everything I have coming along as the semester is coming to an end, and then also with finances, those are things to consider.
There was no time to celebrate her recent win at the Michelob Ultra Guam National Body Championships. Geraldine won the overall bikini title and was champion for her division for the second consecutive year. She was back in the gym a day later getting ready for another contest prep.
I think the exhaustion builds up a lot more because I'm already keeping at that peak week diet, especially the training, the cardio, it stays intense and never slows down.
Mesa will be accompanied by Coach Steve Oshiro on the trip as she looks forward to representing Guam. Geraldine stayed in training mode these last 4 weeks, saying the show prep comes down to these last few days.
I'm actually really excited. I feel like just in 1 year, my physique has improved so much, and there's an incredible difference. My coach, Steve Oshiro, really knows how my body functions and how it responds to certain training regimens and dieting. So I feel really good. I'm hoping I could do really well, and I hope that I can stand, at that level with these girls on stage, just because I know how big the competition pool is and represent Guam,
Budweiser Soccer League Premier Division results. Bank of Guam Strikers remain on top of the division standings after slipping past Lots of Art Tattoo Heat 4-3 at the Guam Football Association National Training Center. Marcus Lopez scored a hat trick in the win. University of Guam Tritons rallied from 2 goals down to force a 3-3 draw with Quality Distributors FC. Napa Rovers defeated the Islanders FC 7-1. Full schedules for all divisions are online at guamfa.com/all-leagues men's regular results.
Mark is the best husband and father you could ask for. Right, mi amor?
My brother, he's just a big kid.
Great guy. Best man at my wedding. Just gotta keep him off the dance floor.
Uncle Mark's the best. He taught me how to seal a base.
He stopped by yesterday just to chat.
Honestly, this place would fall apart without him.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
It's birthday time, so happy birthday number 16 to Maya Salas. May God continue to bless you with all the amazing gifts He has for you from the Santos family. Debbie Smith has a birthday today, so we love and miss you plenty from your familia. Happy birthday to Sharon Villagomez from your husband and Michael Ball. And a happy birthday to KUAM's very own Ken Borja, without whom we literally would not be here. So Ken, thanks for all you do. You're a really good guy. Happy birthday to Quinn Delgado today from your family and extended family and all your friends. And happy belated birthday wishes to Anki Crisostomo from Ma, Papa, and Uncle Rico.
And remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and your birthday. And that'll do it for us here on the News Desk, but stay tuned. Jason is up next with Extra.
In the Mix is presented by Eat Street Grill. Visit Eat Street Grill at the Plaza Shopping Center in the heart of Tumon, across from DFS Galleria.